Hi guys, what's going on? It's Kofi here once again, and I'm joined with Adaeze. Adaeze is huge in the content arena. Adaeze makes music, videos, does hair apparently, manages artists, anything Adaeze got it covered. Then what's going on, man?
I'm cool. How are you?
Alright, I get it. I'm blessed. I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions today. Namely, you call yourself the vibe architect, right? And I just want to know, like, how do you define yourself and your space in the content creation industry?
Wow, I've never been asked that question. Well, as you said, I do a lot of different things, and it was getting difficult for me to try to explain to people what I do, because if I say, okay, I'm a photographer, that would feel so incomplete because I do so many other things. So I came up with the term vibe architect just because it felt a lot more comprehensive for me. I like the idea of architecture because, like, you're designing something and you're also designing it to be experienced, and so that's what I think I bring to anything that I do, just that extra vibe, that extra energy. And that's something that you can't really, it's not tangible, you can't really describe it. It's just something you feel once you've experienced.
Because really so much goes into the creation of something, so I guess architect just kind of encompasses it all.
Exactly. And also, like, in the creative industry, you will know this, like, when you do music, it's so closely attached to photography, film, etc. And I think what I do that's like really different to what other people do is that when I'm coming at something, I'm considering from the very beginning, I'm already considering the graphics, the video, the sound, you know. So for me, yeah, the vibe architect, that just makes it make sense to me, if no one else.
So how did you find yourself in creating your brand and your businesses? Like, how did you discover the businesses you wanted to pursue?
I would say it was a matter of necessity. So when I first started, and this was like over 10 years ago, which feels weird. It feels weird to say over 10 years ago because I feel very young. But when I started, there were so many things that I needed as an artist in order to just be competitive. So just simply put, just like graphics, photos, videos, etc. And it was hard initially to get the people around me that were able to provide those things. So a lot of those things I had to learn how to do for myself.
So, like, do you find that you kind of had to teach yourself how to do a lot of these things because you had difficulty getting your product done exactly how you wanted it done?
That's a part of it, but it really was just that I don't like depending on people, especially if I'm being prolific. Because if you're being prolific, then you want things just moving, and sometimes when things are in other people's hands, it could take a while. But no, I just had to do it because it needed to be done. That was the main thing. But then I found that I was liking it. I like anything creative. So how you were saying I was cutting hair, to me that's another form of art. And I just like expressing myself that way. So yeah, it's not a case where I found this thing that I wanted to do. It was necessity. I learned to love it, and I probably am going to continue doing other things as well, as long as I feel like challenged by it and it's fun.
Speaking of other things, you collaborate with Lane on Treble. Can you tell me how the two of y'all started that and the type of work you do together?
Well, I had first reached out to her because I just wanted some form of mentorship just in general, which unfortunately I found hard to find. But she was one of those people that really just saw something in me and took me under her wing. And so it was just that kind of relationship at first. But at the same time, I had a studio and she didn't really have a studio that she was working out of consistently. So she came to the studio, we started working, and we realized that we work really well together. And so we just started writing songs for other people. A lot of the opportunities that we got came through her, obviously because she's been doing it longer and she has that reputation, having written like these huge hits, you know. So a lot of the work came through her, but we really just is equal work once we get working on other songs. We started working on some of her own music, which is going in a lot more kind of Afrobeats, Afrofusion direction. I would say primarily because Afrobeats is dope, but also because I really personally love everything about Africa and the fact that that's our culture at the end of the day, even though we were born in the Caribbean. And having made a trip to Nigeria, I definitely solidified in my mind, I really want to be a part of the wave that's happening right now that connects Africa and the diaspora, whether it's Black America or the Caribbean, even people in the UK, because I feel like music is the thing that's connecting us now as a culture. Before Black people, you kind of know, okay, we have the diaspora, but there wasn't anything that was bringing us all together, and I feel like music is the thing that's doing that now. You have people doing Afro beats, collaborating with dancehall artists, soca artists. It's beautiful. And so one of the first songs in that direction was House Party, and that's a song we actually just did a remix for it. We shot a video for it as a result of doing the NFT. And so yeah, it's been going great working with Shanta.
So speaking of the same NFT, actually, that's actually the first NFT sold by a Black female musician. Can you tell me about like the process of making the House Party auction and how did y'all come up with that idea in the first place?
Yeah. Okay. So with regards to the NFT and the history that we made, she was the first major Black artist, and I have to distinguish major because you never know what other Black female artists have done it and haven't made that news. But the first major one, for 1 or 2 days, we actually were a top story on Google. If you type in music NFT, we were a top story. So that was incredible. Insane. Yeah, I don't think it's really hit me yet that 2 people from Barbados could do that. It came about because the company that we did the NFT with, they're called Owens. One of my friends / mentors, he's one of the co-founders of the company, and he just hit me up and said, hey, have you heard about NFTs? There's this, we were just catching up and just talking. I was like, oh shoot, well, we actually have a song we're about to put out. Maybe we could do something. And we did something. And it was great.
What do you think young Beijing creatives need to help with their development?
Oh, Father. How long is this interview? No, I honestly bring it back to this one thing. I think a lot of Barbadian artists fundamentally lack confidence and lack belief that what they're doing is valuable, and it translates into everything. And I would just start there, because if you don't have that, nothing else I say even makes sense. So I would really just say, like, understanding the value that you bring, understand in both a creative, even spiritual, because I think art is spiritual as well. So from that standpoint, but also from a business standpoint, understanding the value that you bring is really important.
I love that you mentioned that last part. A lot of artists don't really put time into the business aspect of things.
No, that's a huge thing.
And that's where they lose out, they get taken advantage of.
Exactly.
Yeah.